Hello, and welcome to Beering in Mind Beer Reviews. And this is the 80th beer review, and for that I'm doing something a little special. One of the best beers in the world, or at least it certainly used to be, and that is this one here. It's called Pilsner Urquell. And this is a Czech Pilsner at 4.4%. And I first discovered this beer many years ago in San Francisco. A friend said, "Oh, this store has some unusual beer." It was just an average little grocery store in the neighborhood. And they had this beer, and we didn't know what it was back then. And we bought it, and it tasted, of course, so different from anything that we were used to in those days. And this was way back in the 1970s. So, of course, since then, the beer scene has changed, and a lot of other beers have grown up around this beer. It still is considered a classic. It may not be as special as it once was, but that's the case with probably any beer that is considered a classic or a favorite. There's so many other great beers around now. So 4.4%, and on Rate Beer, this beer has a rating, or has 3,952 ratings, quite a few, an average rating of 3.26 out of 5, a percentile score of 51 for all beers, and rather high 90 for Pilsners, or Czech Pilsners, which is its category here. So this, the history, or perhaps the legend, is that that they've been using the same recipe since 1842, which you see up here at the top, and in the town of Pilsen, which is where the name Pilsner comes from. In different spellings, Pilsener, or simply Pilsner. But that's not the name in Czech. Here, the name in Czech, you can read it right here. I probably shouldn't try to pronounce it, but you can see it right there on the red label here. So this name is the German name for when this area was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And means source. Urquell means the original source for the style of beer. And this style of beer came out in the 1800s when glassware was becoming popular for drinks instead of stoneware or ceramic or pewter mugs. And certainly dark beers or muddy beers didn't look as good in glassware. And of course, in Pilsner they had wonderful malt and good hops, and they could make this golden style ale, or I'm sorry, golden style lager. And so really this beer is kind of, when I say it's special, what I mean is that the lagers that descended from it, and certainly mass market lagers that we have today, are really a very distant version of what original lagers, Pilsner lagers, were here. So I think we should give this a go. So those Saaz hops, Czech hops, are pretty evident, even maybe almost a meter away. The smell comes right out. The aroma, really, it's just these beautiful floral hops, some Swedish malt behind it, and you can see it's rather nice, kind of delicate gold, and some fairly decent carbonation streaming up all throughout, not in one area, but all throughout the area of the beer. Flavors, hops and hops and hops, some sneaky sweetness in mid palate, I think, and then bitterness starts creeping up near the end of mid palate and through the finish here. This beer is crisp, it's clean, it has kind of a light dry finish, refreshing, pleasant. I think it's probably in a bottle form here. It's probably just a shadow of what it would be on tap, and certainly compared to what you might get in near the area of Pilsen in Czechoslovakia or the Czech Republic here. So this is a beer. Definitely, it's one of the beers you need to try at some point here. It's kind of the standard for a Czech Pilsner, and it's one of the best of its kind in the world. This is great, clean, bready, wonderful. Saaz hops are just kind of a miracle of their own. Again, Pilsner Urquell. If you've never had this, you really need to seek it out and find it and give it a try. And let me know what you thought. Leave some comments. And if you like the reviews we've been doing and you want to learn a little bit more about each individual beer, please do subscribe to the channel. Okay? That's it for today. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.